Hey guys, what's going on? Space Cowboy here. Welcome back to the channel. Got another video for you guys today. Before we get started with today's video, if you guys could, down below, if you could, please make sure to leave a like. It helps the channel out a lot. It helps the algorithm kind of pick it up. So that'd be great if you could do that. If you're new here and you're here for the first time, by all means, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more Dallas Cowboys content from me now, as well as in future videos and other live streams. And also make sure to hit that notification bell so you make sure that you know when the content drops as soon as it does. So with that out of the way, we got to talk about the Pyrrhic victory the Cowboys had over the New York Giants on Sunday with a 37-34 win. Last second field goal to put the Cowboys at 2-3 and in first place in the NFC East, but at the cost of two players. Tristan Hill, who has a torn ACL and is most likely out for the season, and probably is, just haven't had that confirmation yet. And QB1, Dak Prescott, having a compound fracture and dislocation of his right ankle. It did not look pretty. And it will put him out for 4 to 6 months. And luckily, this won't impact him next year, and based off of doctor diagnoses, and if I know I mispronounced that, but I don't really care. But with all the information that's come out, he's expected to have a full recovery and will be able to be ready for next year. So that is good. Now, I know that there have been people talking about the contract issue. Right now, I'm not worried about that. If you want my take right now, all I'm going to say is it should not affect anything. The Cowboys have doubled down that Dak is the guy going forward, and if I'm going to be honest, they're going to give him his money regardless of how you feel about that. And we'll see what happens, but right now, that's the stance I'm going with now. And that's not the main premise. We're here to talk about this game, but with Dak being out, the season is in a state of flux as the Cowboys now have to resort to next man up at not only the quarterback position, but also defensive tackle. They're going to have to scrape the bottom of the barrel to make sure that they can put some guys out there. And so we're going to see some Neville Gallimore most likely. Now, what I will say is that the Cowboys, when it came to their defense, played a lot better than I was expecting. They made key stops when they needed to make key stops. And yes, 34 points was a lot to give up against a team that was averaging 12 points a game. And we gave up 14 points in the first quarter to a team averaging 12 points a game. But I want to make sure that this is absolutely clear. If we look at how the Giants put up points against the Cowboys defense, they really, if it wasn't for the offense not only giving them a pick 6 by Dak Prescott and then Andy Dalton fumbling at the 20, at like the 15, that's 14 points right there. And the Giants, you know, that's 20 points the Cowboys defense gave up. Now, don't get me wrong, there were mental mistakes. The special teams unit gave up they gave up a field goal. You know, they made a punt turn into a field goal. So if you want to be really, you know, if you want to be like that, they really only gave up 17 points. But I digress. The Cowboys defense, they came to play in certain instances. DeMarcus Lawrence, he was having pressures all day. Couldn't get to Daniel Jones because he kept escaping out of the pocket. They should have had way more sacks than just 3. Jalen Smith with a fantastic game of 14 total tackles. Now they had him at 1.5 sacks, but I think that that was a miss due with the statistics, because they're now registering 2 instead of 3, so that must have been an error in the stat sheet. But you know, half a sack and 3.5 tackles for losses with 2 QB hits. I want you to think about this: the Cowboys hit Daniel Jones 10 times, so they were getting to him. You know, so I got to give props to Jalen Smith. You know, good on him for kind of starting to look like his former self when, you know, it comes down to it, which is good. Got to give props to Anthony Brown for that scoop and score touchdown. You know, him having that awareness to not only just get the turnover, but more so being able to pick it up and run, you know, having a free lane to the end zone. That was fantastic to see. So, and it was just the sequence of events. The Cowboys getting the Ezekiel Elliott touchdown to take the 17-3 score to a 1-possession game and to get the scoop and score to tie it all up in a matter of a couple minutes. So that was fantastic to see. Now, I do want to say though, and this is an elephant in the room. This with the refs. I gotta admit those calls were pretty ticky tacky. The first being a fake field goal, which resulted in a touchdown, and the only reason that got called back was because Cameron Fleming was mere inches of not being set. So there's that. And then I believe it was Darius Slayton, if I recall. Darius Slayton that was wide open for a touchdown that got called back because of an offensive pass interference, but it was like a pick play. So Cowboys were really lucky there. That's 14 points that were taken off the board and turned into field goals or whatnot. And you just gotta say, like, just calling a spade a spade. And then as we take a look, with this offense, CeeDee Lamb is now the leading receiver for this team, and he looks amazing. 8 receptions, 124 yards. You had Michael Gallup, who came up clutch with 2 key catches on the final drive to set the Cowboys up with the go-ahead field goal to win the game. And Amari Cooper, yes, he did not have a lot of yardage in this game, but you got to understand, whoever's open is going to get the ball. And I really don't care what people say. I'm not all for that, oh, you have to force someone the ball. You go with whoever is the hot hand. So I don't want to listen to that crap. So as we take a look, you did have 2 turnovers in this game, which resulted in 14 points. But when we look at the team stats, I'm going to just take a look. Dallas outgained the Giants by 402 yards. They did lose the time of possession battle, yes. But as we take a look at these stats, they held them to 300 yards of total offense. 211 passing in total, if you account for sack yardage, and 89 rushing yards. So the Cowboys defense had a pretty solid game, statistically speaking. And like I said, they made key stops when they needed to make key stops. Okay? They managed to get the ball back to Andy Dalton twice to make sure that he can, get it, basically allow us to get this win. And it's just, I'm sorry, because I'm just processing how I was not expecting that to happen with Andy Dalton, because the rust is there, and he did pretty well. I mean, he was dropping dimes, especially on that final drive, and I gotta give him props, man. He did his thing. He got us this win, and we'll talk about the long-term impact momentarily. But yeah, Cowboys get a much-needed win and kind of course correct, because now you see Ezekiel Elliott, who had a 2-touchdown game. Yeah, he didn't get 100 yards rushing, but he had 104 total yards on this game. So, I mean, the Cowboys were efficient on third down, 5 for 9. So there is that. And just, they were 3 for 5 in the red zone, and they had 3 penalties in this game. So there is that. I mean, yes, the Cowboys still have a lot to clean up. Again, this is not a perfect game by no means, but I think that this is going to be a game that the coaching staff, I got to give them props, man. They put this team in position to win. I do think the emotional aspect of Dak coming out of the game really dampened the mood for the Cowboys, and you saw it. But I think that, more so after the Zeke touchdown, but I do like how this team rallied to win this game. Now, if we take a look at the Cowboys' schedule, the Cowboys' schedule gets very interesting from here on out, because with the win against the Giants and being in first place, they have a set of games before they hit their bye week. We have 4 more games till they hit their bye week. Now, the long-term implications are, in my opinion, this. They have a team in the Cardinals who are pretty good. It's on Monday night. I don't know how the team's going to look under Andy Dalton, but if Andy Dalton can be serviceable and not turn the ball over and really do what he did in Cincinnati when he had that team going, I don't see a reason why the Cowboys can't win a couple games with him. So let's put it into perspective. Let's say we drop the game versus Arizona, and you have Washington and Philly in these next 2. So you have 2 more division games after this Cardinals game. if the Cowboys can manage to go 4-4 and, get to the halfway point there is a possibility that the Cowboys with 3 division wins could be on the road to the playoffs. It's not unreasonable to think that the Cowboys, with the rest of the schedule they have, like, let's look at this. The teams I think they might struggle against are Arizona, Pittsburgh, maybe Minnesota because that's on the road, Baltimore, and that's pretty much it. When you look at what this schedule provides, I do believe that outside of those games, the rest of those are winnable games for the Cowboys. Okay? So assuming they lose those 4 games, and we're already 2-3, that puts us at 9-7, and I think the Dallas Cowboys can stumble into the playoffs as a 4 seed, just with how bad the NFC East is. And I understand people might say, oh, who wants to win the division with Dak being out? We should tank for a high pick. My thing is we need to see what this coaching staff is made out of. Because if the coaching staff can get us to the playoffs with the situation we're in, I think that the Cowboys are in good hands. These last 11 games, and I said this on the Lone Star Show, and I'll say it here in this video, these last 11 games are going to be a test for this coaching staff. What can they do with the players they have? Can they muster can they muster enough wins for the team to get to the playoffs? We'll see what happens because, it's not going to be easy, but it's possible. It is definitely possible for the Dallas Cowboys to win the NFC East with how weak it is. But am I banking on them winning it? Am I guaranteeing they're going to win it? No. There's no guarantee that the Cowboys can win any of these games. But I don't have an issue with talking about how the Cowboys have a possibility with pulling off a couple wins. Like I said, if they can... Listen, there's only 4 games that I can imagine them struggling with that are not winnable, in my opinion, in terms of, like, just with the situation we're in right now. So if we lose all 4 of those games and we win the remaining, that puts us at 9-7, and we would go 6-0 in the NFC East, and we'd most likely win the division with considering where every of these other teams are. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. By all means, put in the comment section below how you felt about this game. What do we do for the rest of the season? Can we get to the playoffs with this team? I'm saying I would say about a 40-50% chance that happens just because of how bad the division is. I mean, we'll find out. I think we'll find out in these next 4 games, or I would say 3 games, what the Cowboys are made out of in terms of, them being low on personnel. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you guys could, please make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.